Hello there. I'm going to read a little of Waldo Emerson's Self-Reliance. I was in the Path of Wildness room earlier today with Ron and Justin, sorry. Why do I always have trouble with J names? Ron and Justin are there. We were talking about a number of things, and we were talking about ourselves to a degree, kind of sharing our various interests. Hey, there's Ron. And speak of the devil. Speak of the. What were you? Were you the introspective man? I gave you. Kind of settled on some labels. Was that introspection? Or the self-determined man? I can't really remember. It's tough getting old. Anyway, Justin was describing some of his interesting characteristics, and I was thinking about how similar that was to what Waldo Emerson describes in Self-Reliance, one of my favorite books. I listen to this book in audio format twice a week in its entirety. Hey, it's Justin. There you are. see guys, I came through. Winfield says, hey, I've been watching you for many years. I'm glad to see you're still on here. Yeah, I still am. And Sam says, yo to you. So I'm going to read just a little bit of that. Yumiko's cooking dinner right now. And so I'll read till dinner's ready. That'd be a good title for a podcast. Read until dinner's ready. Self-Reliance by Waldo Emerson. One of my favorite essays of all time. Got lots of notes in this one. Introduction. Oh no, that's not it. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the Emerson actually talking. I did visit Emerson's grave, by the way, when I was in Concord, Massachusetts. I went to Sleepy Hollow Cemetery to visit the grave of Emerson and Thoreau and others. At the time I was more enamored of Thoreau. Now I think Emerson is, Thoreau. There's a gilding guiding light in Thoreau's work, but there's a sagacity and an eminence, if I can use that word, in Emerson. Cat Bats 62 says, hey to you. Here we go. Still, that's the thing about these books, everybody's got something to say about it, but let's just get to it. The essays. Not spiritual law. Because he's got a number of essays in here. I want self-reliance. Is that it? Heroism. Gifts. Oh, where is it? By gum. Just a second here. There it is, page 73. Self-reliance. To clear my mind, clear my thoughts. To believe your own thought, to believe that what is true for you in your private heart is true for all men, that is genius. There it is right there, Ron. Speak your latent conviction, and it shall be the universal sense. For the inmost in due time becomes the outmost, and our first thought is rendered back to us by the trumpets of the last judgment. A man should learn to detect and watch that gleam of light which flashes across his mind from within, more than the luster of the firmament of bards and sages. Yet he dismisses without notice his thought because it is his. In every work of genius, we recognize our own rejected thoughts. They come back to us with a certain alienated majesty. Great works of art have no more affecting lesson for us than this. They teach us to abide by our spontaneous impression with good-humored inflexibility than when the whole cry of voices is on the other side. Else tomorrow the stranger will say with masterly good sense precisely what we have thought and felt all the time, and we shall be forced to take with shame our own opinion from another. There is a time in every man's education when he arrives at the conviction that envy is ignorance, that imitation is suicide, that he must take himself, for better or worse, as his portion, that though the whole wide universe is full of good, no kernel of nourishing corn can come to him but through his toil bestowed on that plot of ground which is given to him to till. The power which resides in him is new in nature, and none but he knows what that is which he can do, nor does he know until he is tried. Not for knowing one faces, one character, one fact makes much impression on him, and another none. I know this reading sounds like nonsense if you're not familiar with Emerson, but that's a pretty stunning little bit right there. The idea that each of us is only able to till the soil of the life that we are living, that to try to till the soil of another's is in vain, and that Ron, it is beautiful writing. It's just exquisite prose, and there's a depth in there too. The power which resides in him is new in nature. I believe every one of us, it's new, right? I mean, not by virtue of some innate gift necessarily, but by virtue of the perspective that we each have in the course of the life that we have. But maybe there is an innate gift in us too. The power which resides in him is new in nature, and none but he knows what it is which he can do, nor does he know until he has tried. So nor do I know until I have tried to open that thing of pasta. It's good to have me around? Sometimes. All right. The power which resides in him is new in nature, and none but he knows what that is which he can do, nor does he know until he has tried. But how many of us do actually try? Not for nothing, one face, one character, one fact makes much impression on him, and another none. Someone said something. Hi, Kurt. Hopefully you're doing well in this pandemic. Hi, JD. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I hope you're doing well too. Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. Accept the place the divine providence has found for you, the society of your contemporaries, the connection of events. Great men have always done so and confided themselves childlike to the genius of their age. That's the whole thing, the idea of self-reliance, Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. That's really what he's trying to say, is basically listen to that inner voice, that inner conviction that rises within us through our lives, rather than following others. And Thoreau, who was kind of Emerson's pupil, in a way, said the same thing when he wrote, that follow the beat of your own drummer. That was Thoreau that came up with that. The man is, as it were, clapped into jail by his consciousness. As soon as he has once acted or spoken with the claret, he is a committed person, watched by the sympathy or the hatred of hundreds, whose affections must now enter into his account. So he says something and he's kind of held to it. Everybody's watching. Is he going to be consistent? And he's got to think about that all the time. There is no lethe for this. I don't know what lethe is. Capital L. L-E-T-H-E. There is no lethe for this. That he could pass again into his neutrality. Who can thus avoid all pledges, and having observed, observe again from the same unaffected, unbiased, unbribable, unaffrighted innocence must always be formidable. Isn't that incredible? To basically to pass into our neutrality, to issue our opinions, to issue our stances, to lay forth with our conviction, yet at all times return back to the neutral state. Justin, isn't that exactly what you were saying? Right? To be able to come to that neutral state with every new proposition and then deal with it afresh. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, adorned by little statesmen and philosophers and divines. If you would be a man, speak today what you think today in words as hard as cannonballs, and tomorrow speak what tomorrow thinks in hard words again, though it contradict everything you said today. Who could do that? Who could today say, no, I speak to the right, and tomorrow I speak to the left, because my vision and my view and my reason tell me so. The voices which we hear in solitude grow faint and inaudible as we enter into the world. Society everywhere is in conspiracy against the manhood of every one of its members. Society is a joint stock company in which the members agree, for the better securing of his bread to each shareholder, to surrender the liberty and culture of the eater. The virtue in most request is conformity. Self-reliance is its aversion. It loves not realities and creators, but names and customs. Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. He who would gather immortal palms must not be hindered by the name of goodness, but must explore if it be goodness. Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Absolve you of yourself, and you shall have the suffrage of the world. Listening to that inner voice, heeding the inner compass. Wow, such strength, such self-reliance. Truth is handsomer than the affection of love. Your goodness must have some edge to it, else it is none. I do not wish to expiate, but to live. My life is for itself, and not for a spectacle. What I must do is all that concerns me, not what the people think. This rule, equally arduous in actual and intellectual life, may serve, let me start that over again. Got something in my throat. I do not wish to expiate, but to live. My life is for itself and not for a spectacle. What I must do is all that concerns me, not what the people think. This rule, equally arduous in actual and in intellectual life, want me to hold him?
Okay.
May serve for the whole distinction between greatness and meanness. It is the harder because you will always find those who think they know what is your duty better than you know it. It is easy in the world to live after the world's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after your own. But the great man is he who in the midst of the crowd keeps with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude. Ron, my man of solitude. I'm you and me, brother. I have sympathy for our thing. It is, yeah. And that's the challenge. Spot on, you say. That is the challenge for each of us, right? I mean, it's very easy for me to live. What does he say? It is easy for the world. It is easy for the world to live after the world's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after our own. Out there under the bridge in Siberia, it's very easy to live after my own opinion in solitude. She's feeding the dogs. It's very hard to do that in the world. J.K. says, I can feel similar ideas in Emerson and Marcus. They are both describe the importance of doing what they believe without consideration of onlookers. Indeed, in fact, in self-reliance, Emerson does indeed throw back to the Stoics. I think he was a student of the Stoics. But back to that piece we're on, I think that's the challenge for each of us, right? It's easy to live those our own ideals in solitude. How much better, as he says right here, it is easy in the world to live after the world's opinion. It is easy in solitude to live after our own. But the great man is he who in the midst of the crowd keeps with perfect sweetness the independence of solitude. Can you do that? I'm not good at that. What a worthy ambition. You know what, I realized I better stop because I need to feed the dogs. Hey, Mama, do the dogs need to be fed? I haven't. I just wanted to check. I didn't know if you had. I'll feed them. So I'm going to stop. Oh, you are? Do you want me to take over? You got your hands full.
No, but you're in charge of salad, right?
Oh my gosh, I'm in charge of salad. I forgot. I'm in charge of salad. I've got to run to Whole Foods then. I'm going to go. Do I have time to do that?
What?
I forgot that I was going to get the salad.
What's this for then?
That's for salad.
I thought you were going to make some.
Oh, I will do that. I'll make salad. I got salad fixings. I can make salad. I know how to do that. Okay, but I'm going to have to stop because the world calls and duty calls. Thank you very much, Ron and Justin. Hope you found that interesting. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys liked it. All right, good. Thank you. I'm going to put a link in the video, not right now, probably later. I'll put the link into a great audio version, a Liverbox recording of this entire book. It's the same one I listen to twice a week. Much better reader than I. The reader is just phenomenal. His reading of this book is spot on. I don't know how he did it in one pass. You're very welcome. For a second session, Ron, it's great. And we'll see you in the Path of Wildness room next week. I hope, by the way, the Path of Wildness room is something that I do Monday through Thursday, 5:30 to 6 o'clock Pacific time. There's a link if you go to goingalone.com. It'll pop up. As soon as you go there, it'll pop up in like 3 seconds and information about how to join us. You can come join us. And it's just a couple of us sitting around and talking. And today it was Ron and Justin and I, and we had a good time. That's what spawned off this video. You're welcome to join as well. Goingalone.org. For that, I'm going to take care. I'm going to say take care, be safe, but not too safe. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Time for making salad.